wasn't on. This thing wasn't on. That's why. You should be good now. Do we have lights here?
Now I can't get it off.
Yeah, that's because these. It's up, down, maybe?
Check, check. We are live from the softball complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, where the College of Staten Island has just completed their ceremonies for the 2017 Senior Day, as they honor a series of seniors here this afternoon prior to this game getting started against FDU-Florham here this afternoon. We had hoped to be able to bring you those ceremonies here this afternoon, but the power has been off at the College of Staten Island here for most of the day this afternoon, and we just got the power back on just in time to get you ready for the start of this afternoon's game, even though we missed an opportunity to bring you Senior Day coverage here this afternoon. And College of Staten Island with 5 seniors in this year's graduating class, as Elizabeth Treviso, Gianna DeCisa, Christy Coangelo, Ali Cananan, and Jackie Cortella, all part of the 2017 graduating class for the College of Staten Island. And, you know, we'll have an opportunity to talk about each of those players at some point during the broadcast here this afternoon, but we also do have doubleheader baseball this afternoon, or softball, I should say, as well, between the College of Staten Island and the FDU-Florham Devils. And, you know, for the College of Staten Island, it's really been a magical year here in this 2017 season. They're coming into this afternoon's game with a 30-6 record, a record that has already shattered the regular season record for the College of Staten Island for wins in a single year, and the College of Staten Island getting red hot once again, having now won 7 in a row and have only dropped 3 games since returning from Orlando back on March 12th, and have really played really fantastic softball all year long. And the starting pitcher for the Dolphins here this afternoon will be Jacqueline Cortella. Cortella coming in to this afternoon's game having really probably the best 2017 regular season that any pitcher has ever had in CSI history. 14-2 overall on the year, a .69 ERA, and you know, Jackie just playing just unbelievable softball here, and this will be her final regular season start here in the game this afternoon against the FDU Devils for the College of Staten Island. This will be their final regular season games before getting ready for the CUNYAC tournament. By virtue of finishing first in the conference, the Dolphins will advance directly to second day play on Friday afternoon. All games for the 2017 CUNYAC Softball Championship after the initial round will take place right here at the CSI Softball Complex beginning Friday morning, approximately 11:30 or so. So tune in and stay on CSIDolphins.com for all the latest information regarding CSI and the CUNYAC Softball Tournament here in this 2017 season. As the Dolphins are getting ready for the game here this afternoon, the FDU-Florham Devils coming in with a record this year, having a little bit of struggles, 12-21 overall, 5-9 in the MAC Freedom Conference. But, you know, looking through this team and looking through these players as well, you can certainly see a lot of talent on this squad, and we should have a couple of very good softball games here this afternoon. As we mentioned, the final games for the Dolphins here this afternoon before they look to defend their CUNYAC championship and go for their 5th championship in a row. The Dolphins have won the CUNYAC championship every year since 2013 and have gone undefeated in regular conference play here this year so far in 2017. So while we have a minute for you, let's get you the starting lineups this afternoon for the FDU-Florham Devils. Leading off and playing center field will be Anna Marie Santangelo. Batting second will be the second baseman Gabby Young. Batting third and playing third base, Taylor Torrey. Batting fourth in left field, Paige Lilly. Batting fifth and the designated player, Michelle Mangini. Batting sixth and playing shortstop, Rebecca DiCarlo. Batting seventh and playing first base, Liz Kelly. Batting eighth and playing right field, Jacqueline Tartagangela. Batting ninth and catching will be Rihanna Paloletti. And Megan Zaccarino will be on the mound for the Devils here this afternoon. For the Dolphins in the field this afternoon, just a little bit of a change from the usual Game 1 starting lineup. It'll be Nicolette Trapani at first, Antoinette Galbo at second, Patricia Riches at short, and it'll be Kristen Marr at third, Nicole Malik in left, Christy Coangelo in center, Juliana Cretella will be around in right, Vanessa Joya will be behind the plate, and as we mentioned, it will be Jacqueline Cortella on the mound for the Dolphins here this afternoon. Cortella clearly one of the favorites for not only the CUNYAC Pitcher of the Year, but also the CUNYAC Player of the Year as well. Just a phenomenal year for Cortella. In addition to her 14-2 record, she also has batted .375 here in this 2017 season. So while we have a minute here, let's get you Jackie's numbers on the year. 14-2, a .69 ERA. In 16 games, she has 16 starts, 15 complete games, 5 shutouts. In 102 innings, she's allowed just 56 hits, 18 runs, only 10 earned runs, walked 20, and struck out 71 on the year. Opposing batters batting .156 against Cortella here in 2017. So, you know, the forecast was for a little bit of a cold and windy day here so far. The weather may turn this afternoon, but a little bit of sun trying to peek through, the wind not blowing too hard, and we're about to get underway with the final regular season game between the Devils and the Dolphins here this afternoon, and it'll be Anna Marie Santangelo to lead off, and Santangelo takes the first pitch. Anna Marie batting .243 on the year. The next pitch will be down low for a ball. And that should make the count now 2-0. Cortella looking in. The 2-0 is up high for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Cortella looking in for the sign. The 2-1 is going to be down low for a ball, and that'll run the count to 3-1. And, you know, it's a very emotional senior day here for the Dolphins this afternoon. A lot of very popular players, including, of course, the number 1 pitcher, Jacqueline Cortella. And that pitch is going to be fouled off out of play, and the count holds at 3-2, all being honored here this afternoon. And, you know, you have that kind of emotional ceremony, and then you got to get yourself ready and get right back into the game. So now Cortella works the count full to 3-2. The wind, the 3-2. Check swing taken just low for a ball. Ball 4, and boy, close pitch, but taken by Santangelo for a ball. And that's going to bring up the second baseman, Gabby Young. Young second in batting on the Devils, batting .327. She's 36 for 110. A homer and 12 RBIs for the lefty. And she swings and slaps that one foul and out of play. And the count goes to 0-1. Santangelo, only 1 stolen base attempt for the Devils here this year. She was caught stealing, as that pitch is going to be lined foul down the left field line out of play. So Young falls behind quickly in the count now at 0-2. Cortella looking in for the sign now. The 0-2 is swung on, popped up in the air right in front of the plate. Cortella comes over and makes the catch, and that was a tough play. That ball was right in between 3 Dolphin defenders, but Cortella came over quickly, made the play, for the out. So 1 out now. Santangelo holds at first base, and it'll bring up Taylor Torrey. Torrey, the leading batter in a lot of offensive categories for the Devils, as she swings and fouls that back for a strike, goes down 0-1. She's 42 for 104 on the year, 6 doubles, 3 triples, 5 home runs, and 23 RBIs. Devils a team with 3 separate players with 5 home runs apiece, and that one is going to be on the outside corner at the knees for a strike, 0-2. Cortella looking in for the sign now. She's ready. The 0-2 is going to be swung on and foul back up out of play, and the count will hold at 0-2. A little bit of a late start here this afternoon. Senior Day ceremonies to open up the game and a power outage on campus. As that ball is going to be swung on and lined into right center field, and that's going to be in there for a base hit. So Torrey lines an opposite field single on an 0-2 pitch. Santangelo will go to second base, and a little bit of a threat here for the Devils now with 2 on and 1 out in the top half of the first inning, and it'll bring up the left fielder, Paige Lilly. Lilly batting .204 on the year with a homer and 9 RBIs. First pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. Santangelo drew a base on balls on a 3-2 pitch. And now a opposite field single has put the Devils in business now. With 2 runners on and only 1 out. And now Cortella gets ahead of Lilly in the count at 0-2. Cortella looking in. The 0-2 is going to be down low for a ball, 1-2. Just underway here, top of the first, no score between the Dolphins and the Devils. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Cortella gets Lilly swinging for the second out here of the game. Cortella's first strikeout, and that's going to bring up the 5th place hitter, the designated batter, Michelle Mangini. Mangini, a .311 hitter on the year. 5 homers, 28 RBIs, and that pitch just off the corner for a ball, 1-0. Cortella looking in. The pitch is swung on, grounded hard towards third. It's a fair ball, and Marr will just step on the bag to retire the side here in the top half of the first inning. So for the Devils, no runs, a hit, a walk. They leave 2. 1/2 inning in the books. Dolphins, no score, coming to bat. Devils, nothing. We'll step aside and take a break, and we'll be right back.
For the Devils in the top half of the first inning, no runs on 1 hit.
We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the second inning. The College of Staten Island able to escape a 2-out, 1-out jam in the top half of the first inning as Cortella strikes out Paige Lilly and then gets Michelle Mangini to ground out unassisted to third base for a fielder's choice for the final out in the first inning, and it'll be Jackie Cortella, one of the 5 players on it at Senior Day here this afternoon, to step in and lead off here for the Dolphins. Get you the Dolphin lineup here in just a minute as Cortella hits a slow roller towards short. The ball's going to be played over nicely that time by the shortstop, DiCarlo, over to Kelly in time for the out. So Cortella, first pitch swinging, saws that one off the hand and grounds out to short. 1 up, 1 down, and that'll bring up the second baseman now, Antoinette Galbo. Galbo coming into today's game batting an even .400 on the year. And the first pitch to Galbo is going to be taken for a ball, 1-0. Dolphin lineup here in game 1, Jackie Cortella, Antoinette Galbo at second, Patricia Richards at short, Vanessa Joya behind the plate, Christy Coangelo catching, Jamie Holmes the designated player, Nicole Malak in left as that pitch is up high for a ball, 2-0. Nicolette Trapani at third. Juliana Cortella will be in right field, and Kirsten Marr will be at third base and will be the flex player here this afternoon. Sicario's pitch is going to be taken for a strike now, 2-1. Defensively here for the Devils, Liz Kelly at first, Gabby Young at second, Rebecca DiCarlo at short, Taylor Porty at third. As the 2-1 comes in, and that's swung on, and that's drilled into right center field, but getting a great jump on the ball will be Tata Gila, and she makes the catch for the second out. So that time Galbo hit the ball hard, but right in with the right fielder. And that'll bring up now the first baseman, Patricia Richards, with 2 out and no one on here. Richards having a incredible freshman season, batting .555, 61 for 110 on the year, 12 doubles, 3 triples, 5 homers, 43 RBIs, and a .611 on-base percentage for the Dolphins in her freshman season. Sicario's pitch is going to be taken for a strike now. Now leaving the count up at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike now. The pitch is swung on and fouled over the Devil dugout and out of play, and the count goes to 1-2. Dolphins in the midst of a record-breaking season here in 2017 as they reach 30 regular season wins for their first time in their team history. As the pitch is going to be swung on and missed, strike 3. So Sicario retires the Dolphins in order in their half of the first inning. Nothing across, 1 inning of play in the books. No score. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back and we're getting ready now for the top half of the second inning. It will be 6, 7, and 8 for the Devils. And Rebecca DiCarlo, the shortstop, will lead off, and she'll take the first pitch low and inside for a ball, 1-0. Cortella winds the 1-0. Is swung and grounded to third. Played there by Marr. She guns it over to Trapani in time for the out. So DiCarlo came into this afternoon's game batting .312 before grounding out to third for the first out of the inning. So 1 up, 1 down, and it'll bring up the first baseman now, Liz Kelly. And the first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Kelly batting .216 on the year. 1 double and 5 RBIs. Cortella winds the pitch, is grounded right at the mound. And Cortella quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2. Devils coming into today's game batting .282 as a team. A lot of power, 17 home runs. 3 players with 5 home runs apiece. Taylor Torrey, Rebecca DiCarlo, and Michelle Mangini. And the pitch is swung on and fouled off right up over our heads, and the count holds at 0-2. Cortella looking in, the 0-2 swung and grounded again to third. Marr once again, and she guns it across the diamond in time for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down quickly on 2 ground balls hit at Kristen Marr. And that's going to bring up the right fielder, Jackie Tartaglia. The first pitch to Tartaglia is going to be a strike, 0-1. Cortella looking in, the 0-1. Just off the corner for a ball. That'll leave it to count up at 1-1. DeWine, Cortella's 1-1 is going to be down low for a ball now, 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Nobody on here. We're in the top half of the second inning. No score between the Dolphins and the Devils as Cortella's pitch is way up high for a ball, and she now falls behind in the count now at 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike. The pitch is going to be taken down low for a ball 4. So Cortella walks her second of the game. Jackie came into today's game walking just 20 batters in 102 innings, but she's walked a couple here in the first 2 innings, and now with 2 out and no one on, it'll bring up the catcher, Rihanna Paletti. And the first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Paletti just 1 hit and 13 at-bats here for the Devils thus far this year, as that pitch is going to be down low for a ball, and that'll even the count up at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. And the pitch is going to be a swing and a miss, 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, 1 on for the Devils. We're here in the top half of the second inning. We're scoreless. And that pitch is down low for a ball, 2-2. Cortella looking in for the sign. She's ready. And the 2-2 is down low for a ball, so Cortella working deep into the count on a few batters here. The third batter who's taken it to 3 balls so far here this afternoon. Cortella looking in. The 3-2 is way up high for a ball 4. So Cortella, uncharacteristically wild here this afternoon, has walked 3 batters. And there's 2 runners on for the Devils once again here in the second. So Santangelo will be the batter. She walked on a 3-2 pitch in the first. And she takes that first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Cortella looking in. The 0-1 is swung on, and that's blooped into right field. But Cortella gets a great jump on the ball and makes the catch for the final out. So Cortella escapes a 2-walk jam. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 left. 1.5 innings in the books. We're scoreless. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching CUNYAC softball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're getting ready for the bottom half of the second inning as the Dolphins, for the second consecutive inning, leave 2 Devils on base. So the Devils have left on 4 through their first 2 at-bats, and it'll be 4, 5, and 6 for the Dolphins here in their half of the second inning. Vanessa Joya, Christy Coangelo, and Jamie Holmes, the scheduled batters, against Megan Zaccarino. Zaccarino is coming into today's game with a 4-6 record. This will be her 24th appearance, her 16th start. She has 5 complete games and a shutout. In 85 innings, she's allowed 114 hits, 85 runs, 60 earned, walked 59, struck out 55, and opposing batters are batting .322 against her. And Vanessa Joya will step in to bat for the Dolphins, and the first pitch to Joya will be taken for a strike, 0-1. Vanessa batting .385 on the year, third in batting for the Dolphins, 35 for 91. 4 doubles, a triple, 3 homers, and 26 RBIs. The pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-1. First of 2 here this afternoon, 2017 Senior Day at the CSI Softball Complex. No score between the Dolphins and the Devils. We're in the bottom half of the second inning as Joya swings and fouls that one off and out of play, and the count goes now to 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Vanessa Joya leading off here in the second for the Dolphins. The pitch to Joya swung on, that's drilled into right field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. So Joya lines that one hard into right field. Tartaglia threw the ball into first, but Joya had already well past the bag. So a leadoff single, the first hit of the afternoon for the Dolphins against Zaccarino, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Christy Coangelo. Coangelo, the other player in the starting lineup, honored here today on Senior Day at the CSI Softball Complex. As she shows bunt, she does bunt. It's going to be gunned over to first base just in time for the out. So that time Zaccario took a little bit of time to get the ball out of the glove, but she was able to do so. Coangelo's sacrifice will be successful, 1-4. Joya will go down to second base now with 1 out for Christy Coangelo. That is going to be her first sacrifice of the year, and that puts a runner at second base, and that's going to bring up the designated player here in game number 1, Jamie Holmes. Holmes really starting to heat up in both the power and RBI department. Her average is now up to 300 with 5 homers, 24 RBIs as that swung on and grounded over to third base. Porty plays, and the throw over to Kelly will be in time. And on the throw, Joya will advance to third. So Holmes will be out 5-3 on the first pitch for the second out. Joya will advance to third base. So now with 2 out and Joya down at third base, it'll be the left fielder, Nicole Malak, with an opportunity to bring home the game's first run. Nicole batting .286 on the year, 8 for 28 with 3 RBIs. The wind and the first pitch to Malak is taken for a strike, 0-1. Carrier looking in for the sign. The pitch, and Malak swings and bloops that down the left field line, fouling out of play, and that's going to run the count to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Joya down at third. No score here in the bottom half of the second. Dolphins and Devils, first of 2, the final regular season game for the Dolphins. As Malak swings and fouls that one up over the Dolphin dugout and out of play, and the count will hold at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes now on Malak. The 0-2 is going to be inside for a ball, 1-2. Men with doubleheader baseball action right up the hill against Lehman College. We'll try to get you updates of those games as we can. As Malak swings and bloops that one into short center field. Drifting back is the shortstop, and DiCarlo is able to make a nice over-the-shoulder catch for the final out of the inning. So the Dolphins threaten but do not score. No runs a hit. 1 left. We've played 2. No score. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching softball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the third inning. Vanessa Joya was able to lead off for a single, with a single for the Dolphins in their half of the second inning. She was sacrificed over to second base by Christy Coangelo and advanced to third on a ground out, but Nicole Malak popped up to shortstop on a nice over-the-shoulder catch by Rebecca DiCarlo to end the Dolphin threat. So now it'll be 2, 3, and 4. Young, Tori, and Lily will face Jacqueline Cortella here in the top half of the third inning, as the first pitch to Young is going to be swung on and fouled off down the third base line and out of play, and the count goes to 0-1. Gabby popped up to Cortella in the first inning. Cortella made that catch just inside of fair territory, so Young is 0 for 1 and takes that down low for a ball, and that's going to run the count now to 1-1. 1-1 the count, and that pitch, that time Cortella did a nice job getting the ball inside, and she's ahead in the count now, 1-2. Cortella ready. Now the 1-2 is swung on a nub foul down the third base line, so the count holds at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And nobody out here for the Devils in their half of the third. Swung on, grounded over to first. Off the glove of Trapani. She gets it over to first base, but it will not be in time. So it's going to be a ground ball, and it's going to be an error on the – it's going to be an infield single as Young hit that ball to the glove side of Trapani. She couldn't make the plays. That one is drilled into left center field, and that one is going to be off the tree and over the wall, and that ball is gone. So Taylor Torrey blasts her 6th home run of the year on the 1-0 pitch from Jackie Cortella. Gabby Young will come home to score, and the Devils now lead by a score of 2-0. So Gabby Young drove that ball over the wall for Young. I'm sorry, Taylor Torrey, I should say. For Torrey, that's going to be her 6th home run of the year and her 24th and 25th RBIs, and the Devils now lead by a score of 2-0. So that's going to bring up the left fielder now, Paige Lilly, and the first pitch to Lilly is up high for a ball, 1-0. Cortella winds the 1-0 to Lilly, check swing foul, and that'll even the count up now at 1-1. So the Devils jump out in front of the Dolphins here by a score of 2-0 on the long home run by Taylor Torrey. And the pitch is going to be taken for a strike now, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, the count. And the 1-2 pitch. And that's going to be off the bottom of the bat for a strike, and it's going to be ruled a foul ball. So the count will hold now at 1-2. So we're going to have a visit to the home plate umpire. Just asking, if she was hit on the hand or not. And the umpire ruled it a foul ball, so just making sure that everything is okay, and then we'll get back underway. The Devils with a long home run by Taylor Torrey after an infield single by Gabby Young got them started here on a ground ball hit to the backhand side of Trapani. She was able to get a hand on the ball but not knock it away. So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out when we get ready to resume. Cortella looking in. The pitch is swung on, scarred in the air to center field, fairly deep, but Coangelo is there, and she makes the catch for the first out. So Lilly hits the ball to medium deep center field, but Coangelo makes the catch for the first out here in the third inning. Cortella winds, and the first pitch is going to be taken for a ball, 1-0. One ball, no strikes to count. Cortella ready. The 1-0. Taken for a strike, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2-0 Devils. 2-run homer here in the top of the third, the only scoring so far. And that pitch is going to be taken on the outside corner for a strike now, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to count. The pitch down low for a ball, 2-2. balls, 2 strikes now as Cortella winds to 2-2. Is going to be swung on, driven foul down the left field line, and the count holds at 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes now. Cortella ready. The pitch. Outside for a ball, and that'll run the count full to 3-2. Cortella ready now. The 3-2 is swung on, and that's drilled right back up the middle, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Third hit of the inning for the Devils in their half of the third inning, and 1 out now and a runner on first base, and it's going to bring up the shortstop, Rebecca DiCarlo. DiCarlo grounded out to third in the second. She's 0 for 1 as we're going to have a little bit of a visit to the mound here as Cortella really struggling this afternoon. Has already allowed a 2-run home run, has walked 3 here this afternoon, and the Devils have 4 base hits against her here so far. So now Cortella will try to work her way out of a runner on first base now and 1 out, and it'll be Rebecca DiCarlo, the batter. Cortella winds. The first pitch is down low for a ball, 1-0. Cortella looking in for the sign. The pitch is going to be popped up in the air to second base, and Galbo will make the catch for the second out. Holding at first base will be Mangini, and with 2 out now and a runner on first, it'll bring up the first baseman, Liz Kelly. Kelly also grounded out to third, and her only at-bat, she's 0 for 1. The pitch is grounded to short, played there by Riches. She guns it over to first base in time for the final out of the inning, but not before the Devils get on the board with a home run, 3 hits, and they leave 1. 2.5 innings in the books. 2-0 Devils. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the third inning. The Dolphins, coming into today's game on a 7-game winning streak, find themselves trailing now by a score of 2-0. It'll be Trapani, Quitella, and Cortella. 8-9-1 for the Dolphins, and the first pitch to Trapani is going to be taken for a strike, 0-1. Sicario looking in, and that pitch is going to be fouled off out over the dugout now to play, and Trapani falls behind quickly in the count now, 0-2. Sicario looking in for the sign. She's ahead in the count, 0-2. The pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Trapani goes down swinging on strikes. That'll be the second strikeout of the afternoon for Zaccarino. And that's going to bring up the right fielder, Juliana Quatella. Quatella batting .313 coming into the game here this afternoon with a homer and 10 RBIs. First pitch swinging and pops it up, and catching the ball in fair territory will be Kelly for the second out. So Quatella, first pitch swinging, goes down for the second out, and it'll be back to the top of the order. And Jacqueline Quatella. Quatella swung at the first pitch of the game and grounded out to short. She's 0 for 1. The wind and the first pitch is going to be down low for a ball, 1-0. So Zaccario goes through the Dolphin order, allowing just one hit through the first 9. And Jacqueline Quatella now will get her second at-bat, and she'll take that one inside for a ball, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. The 2-0 to Quatella is going to be swung on and foul back to the screen, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike to count. And the pitch is going to be down low for a ball, 3-1. Dolphins find themselves trailing in this one by a score of 2-0. They've been out hit 4-1 here as Quatella bats with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. The wind, the pitch is spun and grounded slowly foul, and that'll run the count full to 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here for the Dolphins here in the bottom half of the third inning. Looking to break through against Megan Zaccario. Zaccario pitching very well here for the Devils this afternoon, and they lead 2-0. And the pitch is swung on, skied up in the air to left field. Taking a step back now, drifting over to left center is Lily, and she makes the catch for the final out here in the third inning. So for the Dolphins, nothing across, 3 up, 3 down, 3 in the books. Devils lead 2-0. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back getting ready now for the top half of the fourth inning. And it's going to be Jacqueline Tartaglia to lead off for the Devils, who lead by a score of 2-0, 2-4-1 for the Devils, 0-1-0 for the Dolphins. And she takes the first pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. She walked in the second. And the pitch outside for a ball, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes to count. The pitch is on the outside corner for a strike now, 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike to count now. And that pitch is going to be bunted over towards third, but it'll kick foul and out of play, and that'll even the count up at 2-2. And Tartaglia had Ma playing a little bit back, and it was a very good bunt, but it kicked foul, and that's going to even the count up now at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to count. The pitch is swung on, fouled off, and the count holds at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to count. And the pitch is taken, strike 3 call. So Tartaglia goes down looking for the first out for Cortella, her second strikeout of the afternoon. And that's going to bring up the catcher now, Rihanna Paletti. Paletti also walked in the second for the Devils. The wind, and Cortella's first pitch is grounded to short, played there by Riches, guns it over to first base in time for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Devils here in their half of the 4th inning, and it'll bring up the center field, Anna Marie Santangelo.
Now batting the center fielder, number 8, Anna Marie Santangelo.
And the first pitch to Santangelo is taken for a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out, 2-0 Devils here in the top of the 4th. And that next pitch to Santangelo is taken down low for a ball, 1-1. Cortella looks in, the 1-1 is on the outside corner for a strike, and now Cortella gets ahead in the count at 1-2. Cortella looking in, now the 1-2. Down low for a ball, that'll even the count up at 2-2. Cortella looking in for the sign now once again. And the 2-2 is going to be fouled off, and the count will hold at 2-2. Cortella looking for her first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. And the count is even at 2 on Santangelo. The 2-2 swung on, grounded to third. Ma plays it once again and gets it over to Trapani in time for the final out of the inning. So Cortella does get her 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across for the Devils in their half of the 4th inning. 3.5 in the books. Devils 2, Dolphins nothing. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back getting ready for the bottom half of the 4th inning, and it's been the pitching here of Megan Zaccario that has carried the Devils to a 2-0 lead as she's held the Dolphins to just 1 hit through their first 3 at-bats. So it'll be Antoinette Galbo, Patricia Riches, and Vanessa Joya. We'll see if they can get the Dolphins back into this game, trailing by a score of 2-0 as we head into the bottom half of the 4th inning. The wind and the pitch to Galbo is going to be bunted foul out of play, and she falls behind in the count now 0-1. Antoinette hit the ball hard in the first inning, but right at Tartaglia in right, she's 0 for 1. And that pitch to Galbo is going to be blooped into short right field, and making a nice catch on the ball is the second baseman, Gabby Young. She ranged back quickly in towards right center field and made a nice catch for the first out. So Galbo is out on a pop-up to second base, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Patricia Riches. Riches struck out for only the fourth time of the season in the first. She's 0 for 1. And the first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike now, 0-1. Sicario winds the pitch. Down low for a ball. That'll even the count up now at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike now the count. And the 1-1 to Riches is swung on, hit hard towards second, played there by Young once again, and she gets it over to Kelly for the second out. So Riches hit that ball hard, but a second good defensive play of the inning by Young. 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Dolphins, and it'll bring up the catcher, Vanessa Joya. The wind and the first pitch is going to be taken for a strike, 0-1. Devils lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Dolphins held to just 1 hit so far, that by Joya, and another line drive and another nice defensive play, this time by Kelly for the third out. So 3 pretty good defensive plays by the Devils in their half of the fourth inning. Nothing across for the Dolphins. They've been retired in order in every inning but the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We've played 4, 2-0 Devils. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. So we're back now, and we're getting ready for the top half of the fifth inning. Christina Severicio will go into first base. She'll replace Nicolette Trapani, who'll probably get ready to pitch the second game of this doubleheader. And the Dolphins find themselves trailing here in game number 1 by a score of 2-0. They've only gotten 1 hit so far here this afternoon, and it's going to be Young, Torrey, and Lily against Cortella, as that one's going to be foul back, and that'll even the count up now at 1-1. Young got that infield single in front of the 2-run homer by Taylor Torrey. That's been all of the scoring here so far this afternoon, as Cortella's pitch is up high for a ball, 2-1. Cortella's walked 3, allowed 4 hits, including a home run, and she trails by a score of 2-0. The pitch is way down low for a ball, 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out here in the top half of the 5th inning. The 3-1 is going to be swung on and fouled off, and that'll run the count full now to 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes now. And the pitch is swung on and grounded over to first base. It's going to be played there by Severicio, and she'll step on the bag for the first out here in the top half of the 5th inning. So 1 up, 1 down, and it's going to bring up the hitting star for the Devils here this afternoon, Taylor Porty. And the pitch to Taylor is going to be taken for a ball, 1-1. Torrey 2 for 2 here this afternoon, a single and the 2-run homer, as that one's going to be fouled off down the line and out of play. And the count now goes to 1-2. Torrey came into the game batting over 400 on the year, picked up her team-leading 6th home run in the 3rd. And that pitch is swung on and blooped into short right field, and it's going to fall in front of Cortella, and that's going to be in for a base hit, and the ball's going to get by her, and that's going to allow Torrey to get an extra base. So that ball was blooped out into short right field, and Galbo kind of gave up on the ball, and Cortella could not make the play on it. It kicked by her, and it's going to be scored a single and an error. A single and an error on Cortella, and now it's going to be a runner on second base, and it's going to be Paige Lilly, the batter. She's 0 for 2 and takes a strike, 0-1. So a big run for the Devils now down at second base. They already lead here by a score of 2-0. And that pitch is going to be fouled back to the screen, and the count goes to 0-2. So runner at second base now. 1 out, 2 strikes on Paige Lilly. And the Dolphins trail 2-0. That pitch is going to be swung on and drilled into deep left center field. But Coangelo is there, and she will make the catch for the second out. So that time Lilly hit the ball a long way, but Coangelo was able to make the catch in deep left center field for the second out. And that's going to bring up the designated player, Michelle Mangini. Mangini singled and grounded out. She's 1 for 2. With 2 out now in the top half of the 5th. The wind and Cortella's first pitch is going to be taken for a strike, 0-1. Cortella looking in for the sign now. She's ready. And the pitch is down low for a ball, 1-1. Dolphins, having wrapped up the CUNYAC regular season championship, will play a doubleheader here this afternoon and then get ready for the CUNY championship tournament, which will begin on the Dolphins this Friday. And that pitch is swung on, and that's lined into left center field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Coangelo will be there to cut it off, but it's going to be a 2-out single and an RBI by Michelle Mangini, and the Devils now lead by a score of 3-0. So Cortella not coming up with the best stuff here this afternoon. She's allowed 6 hits now, and the Devils get a 2-out RBI, and that one's going to be driven into center field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Third hit of the inning now for the Devils. Holding at second base will be Mangini. DiCarlo will be at first base. And now with runners at first and second and 2 out, we're going to have a little bit of a break in the action as we're going to have a visit to the mound. And Jackie Cortella, who's now given up her 7th hit here in the afternoon in just 5 innings. So today is the senior day here for the Dolphins here at the CSI Softball Complex. And one of the seniors on it here this afternoon has been Jacqueline Cortella. And she came right out as the starting pitcher here at game number 1 and has had a rough start here this afternoon and still working in danger with 2 Devils on, 2 out. The Dolphins already trailing by a score of 3-0, and the Dolphins with just 1 hit on the afternoon as that's going to be skied into short right field. And this time, Galbo kept going back, and Cortella came in, and Galbo that time makes the catch for the final out as they bump into each other. For the Devils, another run, 3 more hits. They leave 2. We've played 4.5, 3-0 Devils. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back, getting ready now for the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Dolphins trail now by a score of 3-0. It'll be Coangelo, Holmes, and Malak, the 3 scheduled batters, trailing by a score of 3-0 as Megan Zaccario has been on the mound for the Devils. She's pitched a great game here this afternoon. She's just a couple of batters over the minimum here, just 1 exactly over the minimum here this afternoon. And she's allowed just 1 base hit, and that was to Vanessa Joya leading off the 2nd inning as that pitch is going to be down low for a ball. 1-1 as the Dolphin offense has been very quiet here this afternoon. That's a count actually 0-2. Actually 1-1. We were correct. So Coangelo trying to get the Dolphins offense jump-started here in the 5th, and that pitch is going to be inside for a ball, 2-1. Coangelo came into today's game batting .351, 7 doubles, 2 triples, a homer, and 27 RBIs. And the pitch is going to be swung, and that's going to be lined into center field, and that's going to be in there for a base hit. So Coangelo gets the 2nd base hit of the afternoon for the Dolphins as they try to work their way back now from a 3-0 deficit. And with 1 out and nobody on, it's going to bring up the designated player, Jamie Holmes. Jamie grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd. She's 0 for 1. The wind and the first pitch to Holmes, and she skies it up in the infield as 3 Devils come together, but it's going to be Kelly making the call and the catch. So Holmes' first pitch swinging pops up to first for the first out here, and now it'll bring up the left fielder Nicole Malak, but it looks like we will have a pinch hitter coming up for Nicole here in just a minute, and we'll see who grabs the helmet, and it's going to be Ashley Natero, who will come up now to pinch hit for Nicole Malik. So Natero will pinch hit here for Malak. Malak was 0 for 1 in her one at-bat. And Ashley Natero will come in batting .315 on the year, 28 for 89. 2 doubles and a triple and 22 RBIs as that ball's going to get away. And it's going to allow Coangelo to go to second base. So we're looking over to the official scorer for the... It's going to be a wild pitch. That's going to allow Coangelo to advance to second. And Natero now ahead in the count 1-0. And the pitch is going to be outside for a ball now, 2-0. So Natero pinch hitting for Malak ahead in the count now, 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch is blooped over the head of the first baseman, foul and out of play. So now Zaccario gets her first strike of the at-bat and trails in the count, 2-1. Two balls, one strike, one out, one on for the Dolphins, trailing 3-1 and trying to get themselves on the board here this afternoon. As that pitch is going to be down low for a ball, and they're going to try to advance to third. And advancing to third will be Coangelo. It was a gutty play. It's going to be a pass ball on the catcher on that one. So it's going to put the runner now at third base with one out. So Coangelo got a single, advances on a wild pitch and a pass ball. And Natero heading to count 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch is swung on and blooped down the right field line, foul and out of play. And the count goes to 3-2. Three balls, two strikes, one out. A runner down at third for the Dolphins. Their first runner at third base with less than 2 out here this afternoon. And a 3-2 count on Natero as Zaccarino winds to 3-2. It's swung on and that's lined into right center field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Christy Coangelo will score easily on the play. It's going to be a one-out RBI single for Ashley Natero as she picks up her 23rd RBI of the year. And the College of Staten Island gets on the scoreboard and now trails by a score of 3-1 as Christina Severicio will be the batter now. But first we will have a little bit of a break, as we are going to have a visit to the mound now by the Devils, as it'll be head coach Dante Fideli who'll go out on the mound and have a little bit of a word for Megan Zaccarino. Zaccarino was cruising coming into this inning, still finds herself leading in this game by a score of 3-1, but the Dolphins were finally able to trip away here in their half of the fifth inning. A leadoff single by Christy Coangelo. She went to second on a wild pitch and third on a pass ball and scores on the one-out RBI single by Nicole Malak. By Ashley Natero. And that's going to bring up Christina Severicio for her first at-bat, and she takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Christina batting .303 on the year. She's 10 of 33 with 4 doubles and 2 RBIs. The wind and the pitch is going to be taken down low for a ball, so now Severicio ahead in the count at 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes now, the count. The 2-0 is going to be on the inside corner for a strike, 2-1. Dolphins with a run here in the fifth, their first run of the game. Natero at first base, 1 out. As that time Severicio chases the high fastball, and now the count is even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. And the 2-2, Severicio fouls that one back up over the dugout and out of play, and the count holds at 2-2. Two balls, two strikes now, the count. The wind and the 2-2 to Severicio, which he fouls that one off out of play, and the count will hold at 2-2. Otero at first base now, as Zaccario is ready. And the pitch is swung on, popped up in the air. Coming over will be the third baseman, Tori, and she makes the catch for the second out. So Severicio pops up to third for the second out, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Juliana Quintella. Quintella 0 for 1 this afternoon. She popped to first in the third. The wind and the pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-0. One ball, no strikes now, the count. The 1-0 is swung on, skied up in the air, drifting over towards the dugout, and making a leap is Tori, but the ball's going to be just out of play for a strike, and that'll even the count up on Quintella at 1-1. One ball, one strike, two outs now. And the pitch. Inside for a ball, 2-1. Jackie Cortella on deck for the Dolphins, who trail here by a score of 3-1. We're in the bottom half of the fifth inning, two outs. And Ashley Natero, who came in to pinch hit for Nicole Malak, on first, as that's popped up in the air in the infield. And once again, Tori will be there to make the catch for the final out. So the Dolphins get a run on a couple of hits. They leave one. 5 complete in the books. Dolphins trail by a score of 3-1. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching women's softball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back now getting ready for the top half of the sixth inning. The Dolphins finally able to break through and get a run, but that's all they can manage. So we head now to the top half of the sixth inning with the Dolphins trailing by a score of 3-1 as Tartaglia leads off, and that first pitch will be fouled back for a strike, 0-1. Tartaglia walked and struck out. She's 0 for 1 here against Cortella this afternoon. Dolphins coming into today's game on a 7-game winning streak, a 30-6 record overall, trailing here 3-1 as we head into the top half of the sixth inning. As the Devils have managed 7 hits off of Jackie Cortella, including a 2-run homer, and they lead now by a score of 3-1, as that's going to be a swing and a miss now as Tartaglia falls behind in the count at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. The 1-2 is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Cortella strikes out Tartaglia for the second time this afternoon. She has 3 on the day. And that's going to bring up Rihanna Paletti. Paletti 0 for 1, walked and grounded to short. Cortella looking in. The pitch is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike now the count. As they look in, and the pitch is going to be swung on and fouled down the right field line, and Galbo comes over in foul territory, and she makes the catch for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down quickly here for the Devils in their half of the 6th inning, and it's going to bring up the center fielder, Anna Marie Santangelo. Santangelo walked, fly to right, grounded to third. She's 0 for 2. And the first pitch is going to be taken for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball, no strike to count. The pitch on the outside corner, and that'll even the count up at 1-1. Top of the order for the Dolphins in their half of the 6th inning. As that ball swung on, hit hard towards second. Galbo plays it on the hop and gets it over to Severicio in time for the final out. So for the second time this afternoon, the Devils go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. 5.5 in the books. Devils 3, Dolphins 1. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching women's softball coverage exclusively on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. So Jackie Cortella will lead off here in the bottom half of the 6th inning for the Dolphins, who trail by a score of 3-0. Cortella 0 for 2 on the afternoon, grounded to short and fly to left, and she takes the first pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. The wind and the pitch to Cortella is on the outside corner at the knees for a strike, 1-1. Zaccario getting that pitch on the outside corner, and that evens the count up at 1-1. The wind, the pitch, and that's up high for a ball, 2-1. Big chance for the Dolphins here in their half of the 6th inning, the top of the order. They've been held hitless through 6 at-bats, 1, 2, and 3. Have the Dolphins here this afternoon. The pitch at Cortella swings and pops that one up right over the screen and out of play, and the count goes even now at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Jackie Cortella, leading off here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And the Dolphins trailing 3-1, held to just 3 hits so far, as Cortella swings and lashes that one down the left field line, but foul and out of play. So the count holds at 2-2. Cortella hit that one hard, But you could see that it was going to hook foul, and it did. And Lily playing well over toward the left field line. Not much room in between the line and Lily. And Cortella hits that one foul to stay alive now with 2-2. 2-2 pitch is swung on the grounded towards short. Played there by DiCarlo. The throw over to first base in time for the out. So Cortella now 0 for 3 on the afternoon. 1 up, 1 down, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Antoinette Galbo.
Now batting the second baseman, number 3, Antoinette Galbo.
So Megan Zaccario coming in and pitching a very strong game for the Devils. As she retires Cortella leading off here in the 6th, and it'll be Antoinette Galbo, the batter, and that pitch is going to be outside for a ball 1-0. And Dolphin top of the lineup, very quiet here this afternoon as the Dolphins have been held in check for the most part here this afternoon. Just 3 hits so far. The pitch to Galbo outside for a ball 2-0. The big blow of the game, a 2-run home run by Taylor Torrey in the top half of the 3rd inning. They also got an RBI single by Michelle Mangini. The only run for the Dolphins, an RBI single by Ashley Notaro, pinch hitting in the 5th. And that's been it for the Dolphins here this afternoon as they trail by a score of 3-1. So Galbo now back in the box for the Dolphins. Zaccario looking in for the sign, and the pitch is swung on. One hopper to third. Nice play by Torrey as she gets it over to first base in time for the second out. So Galbo hits the ball hard, but a nice play by Torrey playing the ball on the hop for the second out, and that'll bring up now the shortstop, Patricia Riches. Riches also 0 for 2 here on the afternoon. That's the top of the Dolphin order. So far 0 for 8. Against Megan Zaccario. The wind and the first pitch is going to be down low for a ball 1-0. Dolphins with base runners only in 2 innings here this afternoon, the 2nd and the 5th. Zaccario has done a great job against this Dolphin lineup here this afternoon as that pitch is going to be outside for a ball 2-0. On those occasions when the Dolphins have hit the ball hard, the Devils have made the plays defensively and have played a very solid game here this afternoon, leading by a score of 3-1. And that pitch is going to be inside for a ball 3-0. Galbo swung on a 3-0 pitch, grounded out to third. Now it's 3-0 on Riches. As the Dolphins are down to their final 4 outs, as she's swinging as well, and fouls it back to the screen, and the count goes 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike now, the count on Riches. So Carol winds the 3-1 as she swings and grounds it over to shortstop. It's going to be played there by DiCarlo across the diamond in time for the final out of the inning. So the Dolphins go down quickly and quietly in their half of the 6th inning. Nothing across, 6 complete in the books. Devils 3, Dolphins 1. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back and we're getting ready for the top half of the 7th inning, and Jackie Cortella finds herself on the wrong end of a 3-1 pitchers duel with Megan Zaccarino. Zaccarino pitching a fabulous game for the Devils here this afternoon, allowing CSI just 1 run on just 3 hits here in the afternoon and retiring the Dolphins in order every inning except for the 2nd and the 5th. And the Dolphins batting has been a little bit of a struggle here over the last couple of weeks, and the wind and the pitch is going to be up high for a ball now, 2-0. As Gabby Young leading off, Young singled in the 3rd. She's 1 for 3 and fouls that one off, and the count goes to 2-1. So Young, Torrey, and Lily, the scheduled batters for the Devils here in their half of the 7th inning. They took a 2-0 lead in the 3rd and never looked back, and they lead 3-1 as that's swung on and bounced in front of the plate, and forget it. Young flying down to first base for the Devils. No chance of a play that time by Joy. It'll be an infield single for Gabby Young. She now has 2 hits on the afternoon. And that will bring up the 3rd baseman, Taylor Torrey. Torrey's been on base 3 times. She's 3 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBIs. And Young 8 for 9 in stolen bases this year. And Torrey now ahead in the count, 1-0. Cortella winds the 1-0, is down low for a ball, 2-0. So Cortella is yet to retire Torrey here this afternoon, and FDU already with a 3-1 lead. And Young on first base with their 8th hit of the afternoon. The pitch outside for a ball, and throw over to first base won't be in time, and now Cortella is down in the count once again at 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes on Torrey. Cortella winds to 3-0. Is going to be way outside for a ball, ball 4. So Cortella will not retire Torrey this afternoon, as she has 2 singles, a home run, and a walk. And now the Devils in business once again with 2 runners on and nobody out here in the 7th. And it'll be another visit to the mound for Jackie Cortella. Cortella, one of 5 seniors honored here today, this afternoon. And Jackie pitching here this afternoon, not fighting her way through without her best stuff. And in trouble once again as the Devils have their first 2 base runners on this afternoon. Cortella has walked 4 here so far this afternoon. So it'll bring up the left fielder now, Paige Lilly. Lilly struck out and fly to center twice. She's 0 for 3. Her last at-bat, she hit the ball very deep into left center field, as that's going to be popped up to shortstop, and Richards will make the catch for the first out. So Lilly, first pitch swinging, pops up to shortstop for the first out, and now with 2 outs, or with 1 out, I should say, and 2 on, it'll be the designated hitter, Michelle Mangini. Mangini also with 2 hits this afternoon. She also singled home the 3rd Devil run. She's 2 for 3. The wind, Cortella's first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike now, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike now, the count. And the 0-1 way up high for a ball, 1-1. Cortella just not having her best stuff here this afternoon, and not really right around the plate as she usually is. That pitch a good example of it, way out of the strike zone. And then she shoots that one back inside for a ball, 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike to count now. The 2-1 pitch is swung on, and that's blooped, and a beautiful diving catch by Richards. and she'll get it over to first base in time for the final out of the inning. So that's going to be a double play, 6-4 for the final out, as it'll be Young getting picked off at second base. No runs, a hit, a walk, one left. Last chance coming up for the Dolphins. They trail by a score of 3-1. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching softball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the seventh inning. Last chance for the Dolphins. They trail by a score of 3-1. 3-8-0 for the Devils, 1-3-1 for the Dolphins. It'll be Joya, Coangelo, and Holmes, the 4, 5, and 6 scheduled batters here against Megan Zaccarino, who has pitched Zaccario, I should say, who's pitched a fabulous game here this afternoon. She came into today's game with a record of 4-6 on the year and is just 3 outs away from picking up her 5th win of the season. Immediately following the conclusion of this game, we'll be off the air for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, and then we'll be back to bring you the second game of the doubleheader between the Dolphins and the Devils. But first, the Dolphins trying to work their way back in their half of the seventh inning. It'll be Vanessa Joy to lead off. Joy with one of the 3 Dolphin hits this afternoon. She's 1 for 2, and she also lined out hard to the first baseman. The pitch is outside for a ball. That'll even the count up at 1-1. Jackie Cortella, 14-2 with a .69 ERA coming into the game this afternoon. But she's given up 3 earned runs here on 8 hits, and she finds herself trailing 3-1 in the bottom half of the seventh inning. But Joya takes that one inside, and she's now ahead in the count at 2-1. The 2-1 pitch is outside for a ball, 3-1. And if you're the Dolphins, you really want to get that leadoff runner on and give yourself a couple opportunities to bring the tying run up to the plate. Zaccario looking in, the 3-1, and that's inside for a ball, ball 4. A big base on balls for Vanessa Joy, their first base on balls for the afternoon allowed by Zaccario. And that's going to bring up Christy Coangelo. Coangelo scored the only run of the game. She singled, went to second on a wild pitch, third on a pass ball, and scored on the RBI by Ashley Natero. She also sacrificed. She's 1 for 1 officially and takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Dolphins trying to come back here in the bottom half of the seventh, trailing by a score of 3-1. The pitch is on the inside corner for a strike, 0-2. Dolphins' 7-game winning streak in jeopardy as we're in the bottom of the seventh. They trail 3-1. The pitch to Coangelo is popped up in the air in the infield. Young, the second baseman, is there, and she makes the catch for the first out. So one out, I should say, for the Dolphins, and that will bring up the designated player, Jamie Holmes. Holmes 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Grounded to third, popped to first. Holmes the tying run at the plate. As that first pitch is going to be taken for a strike now, 0-1. Jamie tied for the team lead in home runs with 5 with Patricia Riches. And down in the count now, 0-1. The pitch is swung on, that's drilled down the left field line. Foul and out of play. Holmes now down in the count at 0-2. Don't forget to stay with us. We'll go off the air for some time in between games, but we'll be back to bring you the second game of this doubleheader. But first, the Dolphins trying to come back here in the bottom half of the seventh inning as Vanessa Joya drew a leadoff walk. And Jamie Holmes is the batter with the count 0-2 with one out here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. And the Dolphins trailing here by a score of 3-1. Carrier winds. The pitch is outside for a ball now, 1-2. One ball, two strikes, one out, one on here for the Dolphins. Carrier winds the 1-2, and Holmes chases that high fastball, but is able to foul it off and stay alive. And that keeps the count at 1-2. That ball was well up out of the strike zone. Holmes went after it and was able to get a bat on it and stay alive at 1-2. The 1-2, and Holmes swings it, hits that one to third base, and getting it over in time, or getting back in time, I should say, is Joyous. So now the Dolphins are down to their final out, and it will be Nicole Malak to bat. So Nicole Malak will be Dolphins are down to their final out here in game number one. As Natero will come up as the tying run with two outs here in the seventh. The wind and the first pitch to Malak is taken for a strike, 0-1. Dolphins 30-6 coming into today's game on a 7-game winning streak. One out away from having that winning streak broken. And the pitch to Malak is swung on and fouled up over our heads out of play, and the Dolphins are down to their final strike. No balls, two strikes on Malak. And the 0-2 to Malak as she fouls that one off and stays alive. Count holds at 0-2. The Dolphins held to just 3 hits here this afternoon as Megan Zaccario has come out and pitched a great game here, really shutting down the Dolphin bats. And the Devils doing a nice job defensively here, making all the plays as Malak takes that pitch down low for a ball, and the count goes to 1-2. We'll be back about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this game to get you game number 2 between the Dolphins and the Devils. The pitch just outside for a ball, and the count evens at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. The 2-2 pitch is Malak swings and grounds that one over to shortstop. DiCarlo steps on the bag in time for the final out of the game. So the Dolphins, held to just 3 hits here in game number 1, find their 7-game winning streak snapped here as they drop game number 1 to the Devils by a final score of 3-1. So Jackie Cortello allows a 2-run home run to Taylor Torrey in the 3rd, an RBI single to Michelle Mangini in the 5th. The Dolphins' only run of the game on an RBI single by Ashley Natero, and the Dolphins drop game number 1 of this doubleheader by a final score of 3-1 to see their 7-game winning streak come to an end. So that's going to wrap up our coverage here in game number 1. We're going to step aside, take a break. We'll be away for about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll be back and get you ready for the start of the second game between the Dolphins and the Devils. The College of Staten Island dropping game number 1 here by a final score of 3-1. So this is Mike Babusky saying so long, stay with us, and we'll be back to bring you second game coverage shortly between the Dolphins and the Devils as you've been watching 2017 Senior Day softball coverage right here on your voice for everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of game number 2 between the College of Staten Island and FDU Devils. The FDU Devils ruined game number 1 of Senior Day for the Dolphins, if you're a CSI Dolphin fan, as they were able to defeat Jacqueline Cortella and hand her only her 3rd loss here in this 2017 season, as they got a great complete game pitching performance from Megan Zaccarino as she held the Dolphins to 1 run on just 3 hits. And they defeated the CSI Dolphins by a final score of 3-1 in game number 1. And here in game number 2, it's going to be Allison Marr starting here for the Dolphins, as she's going to look to get the Dolphins back on the winning streak here before their final regular season game appearance, before they start the regular season CUNYAC championship run, as they look to win their 5th consecutive CUNYAC championship, and that will begin this Friday here at the CSI Softball Complex. But first, they're looking to get back on their winning ways here in game number 2, and let's bring you the starting lineup here for the FDU Devils in game number 2. Leading off playing second base, it'll be Gabby Young. Brianna Paletti will be catching, batting second. Taylor Torrey, the home run hitting star in game number 1, will be at third, batting third. Paige Lilly in left, batting fourth. Michelle Mangini, designated player, batting fifth. Rebecca DiCarlo at shortstop, batting sixth, as Mar's first pitch will be taken for a strike 0-1. We'll get you Mar's numbers here in just a minute. Rebecca DiCarlo at shortstop, batting sixth. Liz Kelly at first, batting seventh. Jacqueline Tartaglia will go from right field to center field here in game number 2. Franny Jarin will be in right field. She'll bat ninth. And Audrey Thomas will be on the mound for the Devils in game number 2. 1 ball, 1 strike now, the count on Young. The pitch is swung and grounded over slowly towards second. Galbo gathers and throws, but she won't have a chance, as Young's able to beat that one out for an infield single. So a good start here for the Devils in game number 2, as Young reaches, and they'll have 1 out and nobody on, and that'll bring up the catcher, Brianna Paletti. Dolphins baseball team won game number 1 against Lehman College by a final score of 9-4, as Paletti tries to bunt that one and she fouls it back. The count goes 0-1. Rihanna batted ninth in game number 1. She walked in and was 0-2 with that base on balls. Oh, the count now on Paletti. The pitch. Taken for a ball. That'll even the count up at 1-1. Close pitch that time by Ma. And the count even at 1-1. The wind, the pitch is going to be bunted and missed, and that'll even the count up. We'll actually put Ma ahead in the count, 1-2. Just underway here in game number 2. We'll get you the Dolphins' defensive lineup here in just a minute. As Ma winds the 1-2. Is taken, strike 3 call. So Paletti goes down for the first out here in the top of the first. And let's get you the Dolphin lineup here defensively. Nicolette Trapani will be at first base. Jacqueline Cortella at second. Patricia Richards at short. Antoinette Galbo at third. As Ma winds, and her first pitch is grounded right back to the mound. She's able to gather and get it over to first base just in time for the out. So Ma bobbled that one hopper up the middle, and the Dolphins get Taylor out for the first time this afternoon. 1-3 is going to second base, will be Young. And with 2 out, it'll bring up the left fielder, Paige Lilly. Lilly went 0-4 in game number 1. Ma's wind, and the first pitch is going to be taken for a strike, 0-1. Defensively in the outfield for the Dolphins here in game number 2, Vanessa Joya in left, Christy Coangelo in center, Juliana Quintella will be around in right. As Ma's pitch is going to be a swing and a miss, 0-2. She took something off that one. Behind the plate for the Dolphins in game number 2, it'll be Jamie Holmes. And Allison Marr will be on the mound for the Dolphins. As that pitch is outside for a ball, 1-2. We'll get you Allison's numbers here in just a minute. They are excellent, as she's had a great year for the Dolphins. As that swung out and grounded to second. Played there by Galbo. She gets it over to Trapani in time for the final out of the inning. So for the Devils in their half of the first, they get a leadoff base hit, but that's all the damage they could do. No runs, a hit, 1 left, 1 half inning in the books. Devils nothing, Dolphins coming to bat. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching softball coverage right here on your home of the Kudiak Women's Softball Championship. CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back getting ready for the bottom half of the first inning. Allison Marr allowed a leadoff single, an infield single by Gabby Young. Excuse me, but that's all the damage the Devils could do as Marr came back to retire the last 3. So it'll be the Dolphins' turn to bat here in the bottom half of the first inning. No score between the Dolphins and the Devils. And let's get you the Dolphin lineup here in game number 2. Jackie Cortella will lead off and play second base. Antoinette Galbo will bat second and play third. Patricia Richards at short. She'll bat third. Vanessa Joy in left batting fourth. Christy Coangelo in fifth, playing center field batting fifth. Ashley Natero, the designated player, batting sixth. Jamie Holmes catching and batting seventh. Allison Marr will be batting eighth as Cortella grounds out to first base. Second base on the first pitch. So Jackie 0 for 4 on the afternoon. Allison Marr will be pitching and batting eighth. Juliana Quintella will be in right field batting ninth. And Nicolette Trapani will be the flex player, and she won't bat. So Antoinette Galbo will be the batter here. As we will get you the Devil lineup here defensively is Audrey Thomas on the mound for the Devils here in game number 2. And she's ahead of Galbo 0-1 as Galbo rips that one foul. And now Antoinette down in the count 0-2. Liz Kelly at first base, Gabby Young at second, Rebecca DiCarlo at third, Taylor Torrey Rebecca DiCarlo at short, Taylor Torrey at third. Paige Lilly in left, Jackie Tartanglia is in center, Franny Johnson in right, Brianna Paletti behind the plate, and Audrey Thomas on the mound here for the Devils. Thomas coming in with a 5-14 record and a 5.32 ERA. Galbo takes that one out of the strike zone to even the count up now at 2-2. In addition to that 5-14 record, she's allowed 94 2/3 innings, 166 hits, 106 runs as Galbo fouls that one off. 72 earned, walked 40, struck out 40. Opposing players batting .376 against her. And, you looked at Megan Zaccario's line coming into the game and you saw the 4 and 6 and 114 hits in 85 innings. But she certainly pitched much better than that for the Devils as she totally shut down the Dolphins in game number 1. And now it'll be Audrey Thomas here in game number 2 looking to do the same thing as Galbo still holds even in the count now at 2-2. The 2-2 pitch to Galbo was swung on and passed a diving second baseman into the outfield and all the way to the wall. Going over to plate is Tartanglia, but not before Galbo gets it all the way into third base. It'll be a stand-up triple for Antoinette Galbo, and the Dolphins get a runner in third base with less than 2 out for Patricia Riches. So Cortella, Galbo, and Riches were held hitless in game number 1, 0 for 6. But Antoinette Galbo lashes a hard ground line drive in, past that diving Gabby Young. It goes all the way to the wall. And Galbo ends up on third base with 1 out. And Patricia Riches will take the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Top of the Dolphin lineup, 0 for 9, as all 3 players, Cortella, Galbo, and Riches, held hitless in game number 1. But now the Dolphins have a runner on third base with just 1 out and look to get out in front for the first time here this afternoon. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Patricia. Riches came in batting .555, 5 home runs, 43 RBIs before her 0 for 3. And now she's got her first hit of the afternoon and her first RBI. And the Dolphins take a 1-0 lead here in game number 2. So Galbo lashes a triple under the diving attempt by Gabby Young. And now Patricia Riches drives a single down the left field line, and the Dolphins get their first run of the afternoon, their second hit in 3 batters here in game number 2, and they now lead 1-0. Nessa Joya, the batter for the Dolphins. Joya was on base twice in her 3 at-bats. She singled and drew a walk, so she was 1 for 2. She's ahead in the count 1-0, and the pitch is going to be taken for a strike, 1-1. So the Dolphins finally get a taste of being out in front here this afternoon. They trailed since the 2-run homer in the top of the 3rd of game number 1, but they jump out in front here in game number 1 and looking for more as Joya now gets ahead in the count at 2-1. Thomas winds. The 2-1 is going to bounce in the dirt and get away. And going into second base on the play, on the wild pitch, will be Patricia Riches. So now another Dolphin in scoring position with just 1 out. As the Dolphins look up to get more offense here in game number 2. They lead by a score of 1-0. And now Riches is in scoring position with just 1 out as Joya grounds out 1 to third. It's going to be played there by Torrey, but the throw over to first base is going to be an error on the first baseman. So it's going to be an error on Kelly at first, and that's going to give the Dolphins 2 runners on. And, you know, FDU played such a sound game defensively. They never gave the Dolphins any openings. They made all the good plays in the field, and every time they needed to make a play, they were able to make it. That time they commit their first error of the afternoon, and let's see if the Dolphins can take advantage of that as they now have 2 runners on, just 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning, and Christy Colangelo will be the batter here for the Dolphins. Christie sacrificed, singled, and scored the lone Dolphin run in game number 1. She was 1 for 2 with that sacrifice, and she's now ahead in the count at 1-0. Thomas ready, and that pitch is going to be taken for a ball, 2-0. Men's baseball team won game number 1 right up the hill here on their senior day this afternoon. And they'll be getting ready for game number 2 as Colangelo is able to get that ball to DiCarlo. DiCarlo dives but is not able to make a play on the ball. and the bases will be loaded for the Dolphins. It'll be an infield single for Christy Coangelo, and that's going to load the bases for the Dolphins. As that time, DiCarlo made a dive on the ball and was able to keep it in front of her but not make a play on it. So now the Dolphins, with the bases loaded, here with one out in the bottom half of the first inning, they lead 1-0 and looking for more. The wind and the pitch is taken up high for a ball. 1-0 as the batter is Ashley Notaro. Notaro pinch hit for the Dolphins in the fifth inning and singled and drove home the only Dolphin run of the game. She was 1 for 1, and that pitch is going to be down low for a ball. It's 2-0 on Notaro. There's nowhere to put her. The bases are loaded here for the Dolphins. Richards at third, Joy at second, Coangelo at first. 1 out, 2-0 the count, and that pitch is up high for a ball, 3-0. So the Dolphins could not find a way to get a run in game number 1. They have the bases loaded here with a 3-0 count now on Notaro, and that pitch is going to be taken for a strike, 3-1. So Thomas gets the high strike on the 3-0 pitch. And now that pitch is going to be swung on and grounded slowly towards short. And that ball is going to be thrown away as Richards scores, Joyous scores. All the Dolphins will move up. And that FDU defense that was so sound in game number 2, in game number 1, makes another mistake here as that ball was a ground ball to short. I got to think it's going to be an error on the shortstop that would that will allow the run to score. I'm not sure if that's an RBI or not. That they're going to have to. Yeah, it's going to be an error on the shortstop, an RBI, and the runners will all advance. 2 runs will score for the Dolphins. They lead by a score of 3-0. Coangelo all the way down to third. Notaro down to second. Jamie Holmes is the batter, and she's down in the count 0-1. So 2 big errors here for the FDU Devils, and the Dolphins lead by a score of 3-0, and they have Allison Marr on the mound, who's pitched very well for the Dolphins, allowing less than a run a game coming into today's game, as Holmes is now down in the count at 0-2. And that pitch is going to be swung on and blooped just beyond both outfielders, and that's going to be in for a base hit. So Holmes is going to get an RBI on the play as Coangelo scores. Notaro had to hold up at second to make sure that the ball dropped in. So it's going to be a single and an RBI for Jamie Holmes. The Dolphins still have runners at the corner with 1 out. They lead by a score of 4-0. But, boy, when you look back at this inning, you know, we say all the time what a game of inches softball is. Antoinette Galbo reached third base on a stand-up triple on a ball that Gabby Young dove for, could not make the play on, and it rolled all the way to the wall. Patricia Richards singled her home with a clean single, but from that point forward, FDU not playing sound defensively, and it's really opened the door for the Dolphins, who lead already by a score of 4-0, threatening for more, as it's going to be Allison Marr, the batter. And Marr takes that first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Allison, 6 hits, 22 at-bats, a homer, 4 RBIs, 273 coming into the game. The pitch down low for a ball. Holmes will steal second. On the play, it'll be a stolen base for Jamie, as Marr now ahead in the count 2-0. As that time the Devils were trying to play to make sure the Dolphins did not score a run. Holmes gets second base, and now Marr will take that for a strike, and the count goes to 2-1. Not sure what the discussion is between the umpires. 3 umpires at the game here this afternoon, and it's going to be an illegal pitch called on the Devils that's going to allow Notaro to score. An illegal pitch that will score Notaro, and the Dolphins now lead by a score of 5-0. And now Mar's going to get the base on balls, as that's going to now be ball 4. The Dolphins already with 5 here in the bottom half of the first inning. They've already sent their 9th batter to the plate as Juliana Quintella is the batter. And the Dolphins looking to extend their early 5-0 lead as Quintella's going to take that for a strike 0-1. Juliana 0 for 2 in game number 1. The wind and the pitch is swung on and hit hard on a hop towards the shortstop. And they'll get the force out on the play as Holmes held at third base. So it's going to be a 6-4 force out on Quintella. As Marr is out at second, Quintella goes down to first. And that'll bring up Jackie Cortella. Cortella led off this inning and grounded out to second and swings at the first pitch and grounds it to third. So Cortella is out on 2 pitches twice here in the first inning, and the Dolphins are out in their half of the first. 5 runs, 4 hits, couple left, 1 inning of play in the books with the score. CSI 5, FDU nothing. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back and we're getting ready for the top half of the second inning. The Dolphins get on the board here for the first time this afternoon as they pick up 5 big runs in their half of the first inning, and they took advantage of 2 big errors by the Devils in the first inning as they take a big 5-0 lead as Allison Marr will come out with a nice cushion here in the bottom half of the second inning. Magnani, DiCarlo, Kelly, the scheduled batters here for the Devils, 5, 6, and 7, as they will face Allison Marr. Marr having just a fabulous year. We promised you her numbers in the first, and here they are. 6-1, a .77 ERA. This will be her 10th appearance, her 8th start. She has 4 complete games, 4 shutouts. In 45 in the third innings, 29 hits, 8 runs, just 5 earned, walked 12, struck out 44, and opponents batting just 180 against her as she falls behind Michelle Mangini by a count of 2-0. That pitch taken down low for a ball, 3-0. So the Devils trying to work their way back into this game. They trail by a score of 5-0. As that pitch is going to be taken for a strike now, 3-1. Devils won game number 1, breaking the Dolphins' 7-game winning streak as they defeated the Dolphins 3-1 and handed Jacqueline Cortella her 3rd loss of the season as that ball is going to be bounced back to Marr. She fields and throws and gets it over to first base in time for the out. 1 up, 1 down for the Devils here in their half of the second inning, and it'll bring up the shortstop, Rebecca DiCarlo. So DiCarlo, the shortstop here, will bat with 1 out and nobody on. The wind and the pitch. As we're going to have an illegal pitch called on Allison Mon. Not exactly sure why. So I think we went all season long without seeing an illegal pitch, and we've seen two here in the first inning in the batter, as that's going to be a swing and a miss, and that'll even the count up at 1-1 on to Carlo. Rebecca went 1 for 3 in game number 1. DeWine, the pitch is going to be a swing and a miss, 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count. And the pitch is going to be swung on in nub foul, and the count will hold at 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. We're in game number 2 here. Dolphins lead by a score of 5-0 after dropping game number 1 by a final of 3-1. The pitch is going to be taken, strike 3 called. So Ma gets her second strikeout of the afternoon, 2 out, nobody on, and it's going to bring up now the first baseman, Liz Kelly. Kelly went 0 for 3, I should say, in game number 1. The pitch is taken just down low for a ball, 1-0. Ma looking in for the sign now. The 1-0. It's going to be on the outside corner for a strike. That'll even the count up at 1-1. College of Staten Island will advance into the CUNYAC Championship this Friday afternoon as they will jump in during the semifinal round, as that's a swing and a miss, 1-2. Here at the CSI Softball Complex, the CUNYAC Softball Tournament will be brought to you exclusively here by CSI Sportsnet. The 1-2 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Marquez 2 in that inning. She's got 3 in the game as the Devils go down in order here in their half of the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. 1.5 innings in the books, 5-0 Dolphins. We'll step aside and take a break. You're watching women's softball coverage right here on your voice of the 2017 CUNYAC Softball Championship. CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the second inning. Antoinette Galbo will lead off. Galbo got that Dolphin offensive explosion started in the bottom half of the first inning as she lashed a triple under the glove of the diving Gabby Young. A ball hit so hard it rolled all the way to the wall. As that one, she lashes on the line once again, but this time directly at the center fielder, Tatangelia. So Galbo hits that ball on a line, but right at Tardangelia, probably the hardest ball hit here in game number 2 for the Dolphins this afternoon, but it's an out. So 1 out, nobody on, and it'll bring up Patricia Riches. Riches went 0 for 3 in game number 1, but singled and drove home the first run in game number 2. She's 1 for 1. The wind and the pitch is going to be outside for a ball. Dolphins send 10 batters to bat in their half of the first inning. And that's going to be taken for a strike. The wind and the pitch is going to be down low for a ball, and it gets past the catcher. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Riches. With 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. And the 3-1 is going to be swung on. That's going to be lined into right center field. That's going to be a base hit. Riches made a big turn, thought about taking second, but wisely goes back to first base. She's now 2 for 2 in game number 2. She'll be at first base with 1 out, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Vanessa Joya. And Joya reached on an error. That was ruled by the first baseman. It was a tough play. Kelly couldn't make the play at first, got charged with the error. The first of 2 errors that really opened the door for the Dolphins, as that's going to be a ground ball. And once again, it's going to be booted by the third baseman, Torrey. And it's going to be an error on the third baseman. So Torrey nearly got an error the first time that Joya batted. This time it will be an error on Torrey. The third error here of the game for the Devils. Riches is now down at second base, and Christy Coangelo will be the batter for the Dolphins. And she swings and fouls that one. Takes a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to count. The pitch is swung on and grounded back up the middle. Played there by DiCarlo. She steps on the bag for 1, but cannot complete the double play. Nice play that time by DiCarlo. She's able to force Joya out for the second out. She nearly got Coangelo at first, but good speed by Coangelo to beat it out. So now the Dolphins will need a 2-out hit if they're going to score in this second inning, and it'll be Ashley Natero. Natero hit a ground ball back to the shortstop. She tried to come home. The throw was awry as Coangelo will go into second base, so 2 runners in scoring position for the Dolphins. And when the throw went wide, that allowed Joya to come in and score and Coangelo to go to third. And it was a play that the Devils could have had an out at the plate and really helped extend the inning and get a couple of runs home for the Dolphins. And now Natero in a golden opportunity to drive home some more as she bounces that one back up the middle and under the glove of DiCarlo for a base hit. Riches will come home to score. Holding at third base will be Coangelo. Natero is going to get an RBI single, and the Dolphins now lead by a score of 6-0. So Jamie Holmes will be the batter. Holmes singled and drove home a run in the first, as that pitch is going to be taken for a ball, and Natero will go into second base for the Dolphins with a stolen base. And now the Dolphins once again with runners at second and third. The wind and the pitch is going to be down low for a ball now, 2-0. Dolphins unable to score in the first game, have scored in both innings here in game number 2, as that's going to be a ground ball to third, played there by Torrey, and she'll get it over to Kelly in time for the final out of the inning, but the Dolphins add another run. 1 run, 2 hits, an error. 2 innings in the books here. Dolphins lead 6-0. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back and we're getting ready now for the top half of the third inning. The Dolphins with 5 runs in the first and another run in the second, lead by a score of 6-0, as they had an opportunity for more, as they had second and third with 2 outs, and Jamie Holmes grounded out to third for the final out. So Dolphins now lead by a score of 6-0. And it'll be Tartaglia, Jaron, and Young, 8, 9, and 1, scheduled for the Devils, as the first pitch will be bunted out and foul by Tartaglia, and the count is 0-1. Tartaglia went 0 for 2 with a walk in game number 1. Ma looking in. The 0-1 is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 2. So Ma quickly gets ahead in the count now, 0-2. He's ready. The 0-2 pitch is going to be taken. Strike 3 call. Ma coming out dealing here in game number 2 for the Dolphins, as she struck out the last 3 batters she's faced. She struck out 4 on the afternoon. And it'll bring up Franny Jaron for the first time here this afternoon. Jaron, 2 hits and 26 at-bats with a couple of RBIs for the Devils here this afternoon, and she falls behind in the count now, 0-1. While looking in, the 0-1 swung on, grounded hard to second, but Cortella is there, and she gets it over to first base in time for the second out. So Jaron hit that ball hard, but Cortella was able to make the play on it. 2 up, 2 down quickly here for the Devils in their half of the third inning, and it'll take us back up to the top of the order, and the second baseman, Gabby Young. Young, the only base runner here so far for the Devils, as she hit a ground ball towards the second base bag. Cortella was able to play in field, but Young, with plenty of speed, able to beat it out for an infield single. She's 1 for 1 here in game number 2. The 1-0, outside for a ball, 2-0. Young had a couple of hits for the Devils in game number 1 as well. So she's had 3 hits on the afternoon, as that's going to be taken for a strike now, 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on here in the top half of the third inning. 6-0 Dolphins. The pitch. Bounce back to the mound. Played there on a hop by Ma. And she gets it over to first base in time for the final out. So for the Devils in their half of the third inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. Allison Mars retired the last 9 Devils she's faced. We played 2.5 innings of play with the score. The Dolphins 6, Devils nothing. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the third inning. The Dolphins have been able to take advantage of 3 Devil errors here in game number 2, and they have taken advantage, and they lead here by a score of 6-0, as Allison Marr has come out really pitching extremely well since allowing an infield single to Gabby Young leading off the game. She's retired 9 Devils in a row and struck out 4 of them, and it's going to be Allison Marr leading off. She walked in the first inning, and she's now ahead in the count at 1-0. The wind and the pitch is swung on and lashed foul down the third base line out of play, and it's going to even the count up at 1-1. The wind, and that pitch is drilled in the hole between third and short, and that's going to be in for a base hit. So Allison Marr hits that one right on the nose, drives it hard in the hole between short and third. She's going to be on first base with nobody out, and that's going to bring up the right fielder, Juliana Quintella. But first, we're going to have a change as we're going to have a pinch runner as Allison Marr will come back into the dugout and get ready to go back and pitch in the top half of the fourth inning for the Dolphins after they insert a pinch runner into the game here. And it'll be Alexis Cateridge. So Cateridge will go in to run at first base. Nobody out here for the Dolphins in the bottom half of the third inning. They lead 6-0. And Juliana Quintella will be the batter as she forced out in the first, as that's going to be bunted and played by the third baseman for the out, as Quintella bunting and pops up for the out, and that's going to bring up now Jacqueline Cortella. Cortella having a rough day at the plate, 0 for 5 this afternoon, and picking up her third loss in game number 1 on the mound. The wind and the pitch to Cortella is going to be taken for a strike, 0-1. Jackie went 0 for 2 in the first inning, grounding out to second and third on 2 pitches. She's 0 for 2. As she swings and nubs that one down the third baseline foul, and she's now down in the count at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. And the pitch is swung on and fouled off, so Cortella hangs in there, fights off that pitch, and remains down in the count at 0-2. Thomas looking in, and the pitch is going to be fouled off, and the count will hold at 0-2. Dolphins leading here 6-0 in the bottom half of the third inning. The pitch to Cortella is going to be down low for a ball, 1-2. Alexis Cateridge pinch running for Allison Marr at first base with 1 out. And that pitch is a swing and a miss by Cortella. She chased the pitch way out of the strike zone. And she's 0 for 3 here in game number 2, and she will be the second out, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Antoinette Galbo. Galbo had that hard triple under the glove of the diving Young in the first, and then lined out hard to center in the second. She's 1 for 2. The wind and the pitch is swung on and fouled off. And that's going to even the count up at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here, 1 on for the Dolphins. They lead 6-0. The pitch is swung on, that's lashed into right field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Cateridge will hold at second. Galbo gets her second hit in game number 2. The Dolphins now have 2 on with 2 out, and that'll bring up Patricia Riches. Riches 2 for 2 here in game number 2 with an RBI and a couple of runs scored. So Patricia picked up her 44th RBI. She swings and hits that one on a hop to third. And Torrey's going to get it over to Kelly in time for the final out of the inning. So the Dolphins leave another 2 runners on here in their half of the third inning. They've left on 7 here through the first 3. No runs. The Dolphins leave a couple. 3 complete in the book. 6-0 Dolphins. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back now getting ready for the top half of the fourth inning. The Dolphins lead by a score of 6-0. 6-8-0 for the Dolphins, 0-1-3 for the Devils, as it'll be Paletti, Torrey, and Lilly, 2, 3, and 4 for the Devils, as they'll come up against Alice and Ma. Ma allowed a leadoff single, and that's been it for the Devils here this afternoon as Paletti takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. She struck out in the first. She's 0-1. The pitch. Swung grounded toward short. Played there by Richards. She can't make a play on it. And that's going to be scored. As we're looking over to the official score for the play, I think you got to score that in error. I would think on the play. I'm going to put an error down on the shortstop on the ground ball as Richards picks up her second error of the year. And the Devils have a runner on, and the first pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. So Taylor Torrey, the Dolphins have only gotten her out once here the entire afternoon. That in game number 2, she's 0-1. As that pitch is fouled back, and now she's down in the count at 0-2. Torrey came into this doubleheader batting over 400 and had a great game number 1. Getting on base all 4 times, driving home a couple of runs and scoring a couple of runs on that home run. And helped the Devils beat the Dolphins in game number 1 by a final score of 3-1. As Ma now ahead in the count still at 0-2. The 0-2 pitch is swung and grounded toward short. Played there by Richards. She gets it over to second just in time. Cortella just able to get to the bag ahead of Rihanna Paletti. So the force 6-4 will get Paletti at second for the first out. Torrey will go down to first base now, and that'll bring up the left fielder Paige Lilly. Lilly 0-1 in the second game. She grounded to second. Moswine, the pitch is swung on, bounced slowly towards the catcher. Played there by Holmes, and she'll get it over to first base in time for the out. Nice defensive play that time by Jamie Holmes as she came out quickly to get Lilly at first base for the second out. Going to second base will be Torrey, and with 2 out, it'll bring up the designated player, Michelle Mangini. Mangini 0-1 in game number 2. She grounded back to the mound. Ma winds. The first pitch is going to be taken for a strike, 0-1. The wind, the 0-1. Down low for a ball, 1-1. The wind, the pitch is way up high for a ball. It'll be a wild pitch. And going to third base will be Torrey. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. The wind and the pitch is going to be foul back, and that'll even the count up at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner on third base. Top half of the 4th inning. The Dolphins lead here by a score of 6-0. The wind and the pitch is swung and grounded towards second base. Cortella plays, and she'll get it over to Trapani in time for the final out. No runs, no hits, an error, 1 left, 3.5 in the book. 6-0 Dolphins. Will step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Dolphins lead in this game by a score of 6-0, and Dolphins have also left 7 runners on through the first 3 innings, and it'll be 4, 5, and 6. Vanessa Joya, Christy Coangelo, and Ashley Nataro as they will come out and bat against Audrey Thomas. Thomas down in this game by a score of 6-0, but there have been 3 very costly Devils errors that have helped open the door to that 6-0 lead for the Dolphins, and Vanessa Joya will lead off. Joya has reached on 2 errors here in game number 2 for the Dolphins. She's 0 for 2, and she swings and she drills that one deep to left field. That one is gone. Vanessa Joya, first pitch swinging, drills that ball deep over the left field wall for her 4th home run of the year, and the College of Staten Island jumps out to a 7-0 lead. So Vanessa Joya, first pitch swinging, no doubt about it, as she got all of that one, drilled that one deep over the left field wall and picks up her 4th home run of the year, and the Dolphins now lead 7-0. Big blast that time by Joya. She got all of that one, and the Dolphins now 1 run away from taking an 8-run lead. So it'll be Christy Coangelo, the batter here for the Dolphins, and she takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Dolphins pick up another run here as Coangelo skies that one to left field. She hit it well, but under it and able to make the catch will be Lily for the out. So Coangelo gave that one a nice ride, but Paige Lilly is there to make the catch for the first out. And now with 1 out and nobody on, that will bring up the designated player, Ashley Nataro. Nataro reached on a fielder's choice and an error, stole a base, and she's driven home 2 runs here in game number 2. She's 1 for 2 and takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. The wind, the 1-0 is swung on and grounded slowly towards third, but foul. And Tara will now come back even in the count at 1-1. Thomas ready. The 1-1 outside for a ball. 2-1. Dolphins trying to salvage game number 2 of this doubleheader. Their 7-game winning streak came to an end earlier in game number 1 as Jackie Cortella lost just her 3rd game of the afternoon as Notaro swings and lashes that one to left. But Lily is there to make the catch for the 2nd out. They had Notaro played perfectly as she hit a rope down the left field line and able to make the catch for the 2nd out. On the play is Lily as she's gotten both putouts here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for the Dolphins, as it will be Elizabeth Treviso coming in to pinch hit. Elizabeth, one of the 5 seniors honored here this afternoon. Elizabeth, a great addition to the CSI Dolphin team since joining the club and really helping to stabilize their catching position. Always such a positive force with the team as well, as she gets an opportunity here to pinch hit with nobody on and 2 out. And she now falls behind in the count at 0-1. And the 0-1 is going to be taken for a ball, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Nobody on here for the Dolphins. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Final regular season games as that ball skied into center field, and coming on fast will be Tattaglia to make the catch for the final out. So Treviso gets the pinch hit on senior day and pops out to center for the final out. But the Dolphins score a run on the home run by Vanessa Joya. On the hit, they don't leave anybody. We've now played 4 innings of play. Dolphins lead by a score of 7-0. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the 5th inning. The Dolphins lead by a score of 7-0. The big blow for the Dolphins in their half of the 4th. That long home run by Vanessa Joya. She picks up her 4th home run of the year.
The batter is the shortstop, number 7, Rebecca DiCarlo.
So Rebecca DiCarlo will lead off. She struck out. She's 0 for 1 here this afternoon and is down in the count, 0-1. Mars' pitch is swung on, grounded to second base, played there by Cortella, and she'll get it over to Trapani in time for the out. So 1 out here for the Devils in their half of the 5th inning, and it'll bring up the first baseman, Liz Kelly. Kelly 0 for 1, and she struck out for the Devils in the 2nd. The first pitch, taken for a strike, 0-1. Allison Maher coming in with a 6-1 record for the Dolphins and a .77 ERA. So far, she's shut down the Devils on just one hit here in game number 2. And she takes that pitch just down low for a ball, 1-1. Maher winds to 1-1. It's going to be taken for a strike, and now Maher gets ahead in the count at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Allison Maher strikes out Kelly for the second time. She now has 5 strikeouts on the afternoon. And Jacqueline Tartaglia will be the batter. Tartaglia also struck out. She's 0 for 1. Maher winds the 0-1, swing and a miss, strike 1. She's got a tip of that ball and 0-1 the count on Tartaglia. Maher just allowing 1 hit here this afternoon. As she's ready for the 0-1, and that's a swing and a miss, 0-2. Tartaglia not getting good looks at the balls coming up by Maher, and Maher quickly ahead in the count at 0-2. And the 0-2 is down low for a ball, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th inning, and the Dolphins leading 7-0. The 1-2 is taken, strike 3, call. So Tartaglia goes down looking for the Dolphins. It's going to be 3 up, 3 down for the Devils in their half of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nothing, nobody left. 4.5 innings in the books. Dolphins lead 7-0. We'll step aside, take a break. You're listening to your voice of the 2017 CUNYAC Softball Championships, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're getting ready for the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Dolphins lead this one by a score of 7-0. The Dolphins 1 run away here from closing game number 2 out. The Devils coming in and playing a big game number 1, getting 3-hit pitching from Megan Zaccario, defeating the Dolphins 3-1. The Dolphins looking to bounce back and split the doubleheader here in game number 2. And it'll be pitching star of game number 2, Allison Maher, to lead off. And she takes first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Maher's been on base twice here in game number 2, singled and walked. And now is ahead in the count at 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes to count. The wind and the 2-0 is swung on, grounded towards third. Played on a couple of hops by Tori. She gets it over to Kelly in time for the out. So 1 up, 1 down for the Dolphins here in their half of the 5th inning. And we're going to have a pinch hitter, as it looks like Alexandra Conahan is going to get an opportunity to bat here for the Dolphins. Conahan, of course, one of the 5 seniors added honored here today on Senior Day. So Alexandra with our first opportunity to bat here this afternoon for the Dolphins. Only the third bat of the season for Alexandra. She's 0 for 2. Final regular season game here for the CSI Dolphins. They've already set a regular season record, 4 wins with 30. Their all-time season record in wins is 31, which they could tie with a win here this afternoon. And they still have the whole CUNYAC tournament in front of them, so that season record in wins is going to go down. At least you certainly hope so if you're a Dolphin fan, as Conahan takes that for a strike, and the count goes to 1-1. The wind, the pitch is swung on and bounced back to the mound. Played there by Thomas, and she'll get it over to first base in time for the second out, and that's going to bring up the second baseman and leadoff hitter, Jacqueline Cortella. Jackie 0 for 3 here in game number 2.
Second baseman, number 22, Jacqueline Cortella.
So it'll be Cortella against Thomas here with 2 out, nobody on for the Dolphins in the first pitch. As she swings and skies that ball over to second base. So Cortella 0 for 4 here this afternoon as she pops up on the first pitch here for the final out. So for the Dolphins in their half of the fifth, 3 up, 3 down, nothing across, 5 complete in the book, 7-0 Dolphins. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the sixth inning. It'll be 9-1-2 here for the Devils. Jaron Young and Paletti against Allison Marr. Marr has pitched a one-hit shutout through 5 innings, and she gets the first pitch over for a strike, 0-1. Jaron 0 for 1. She grounded to second. The 0-1 is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. Marr really getting stronger and stronger as this regular season goes on. You wind, and the pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. As Marr has now struck out the last 3 batters she's faced. And she has 7 on the game. And that'll bring up Gabby Young. Young with the 1 Devil hit here in game number 2. That was a leadoff infield single as that's grounded to short and gunned over to first base by Richards in time for the out. 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Devils in their half of the 6th inning, and it'll bring up the catcher, Rihanna Paletti. Paletti struck out and reached on an error. She's 0 for 2.
Pinch hitting for the Devils, number 31, Kaylee Fish.
Actually, we're going to have a pinch hitter here for the Devils. Kaylee Fish will be the pinch hitter. So Kaylee Fish will come in to pinch hit. She's 1 for 7 on the year and takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Maul looking in for the sign now. And the pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-1. One ball, one strike to count. The 1-1 is taken up high for a ball, 2-1. One ball, two balls, one strike, two out. Nobody on here for the Devils. The pitch. Outside for a ball, 3-1. So there's just been two base runners here for the Devils this afternoon. A single and an error. And Maul goes to 3 balls for only the second time this afternoon as that swung on and grounded towards third. Played there by Galbo, but the throw is going to be wild. And that's going to allow Fish to reach first base. And that's going to be an error on the third baseman, Antoinette Galbo. And holding at first base will be Kaylee Fish. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, Taylor Torrey. Torrey 0 for 2 in game number 2 after being the hitting star in game number 1. And she skies that one to center, but Coangelo is there. And she makes the catch for the final out. So for the Devils, in their half of the 6th inning, no runs, no hits, an error, 1 left. 5.5 innings in the book, 7-0 Dolphins. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready for the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Dolphins lead by a score of 7-0, and it'll be Gabo, Riches, and Joya as she swings and grounds that one hard down the third baseline, foul out of play, and the count goes to 0-1. Galbo 2 for 3 here in game number 2. She scored the first run of the game, and the only time the Devils got her out, she lined a very hard line drive to deep center field that Tartaglia made the play on. So she's 2 for 3 in game number 2 and evens the count up now at 1-1. DeWine, the 1-0, swung on, grounded back to the mound and under the glove of the pitcher Thomas. And that's going to allow Galbo to reach first base safely. And that's going to be scored an error on the pitcher, Audrey Thomas, to allow Galbo to reach first base. So with one out on and nobody out, it'll bring up Patricia Riches. Riches 2 for 3 in game number 2. A couple of runs scored and an RBI. First pitch is taken for a ball, 1-0. They're going to change the scoring on that to a base hit, as Galbo will be able to reach second base now on the stolen base. So Galbo's ground ball through the middle is going to be scored a base hit. She reaches second on a stolen base, and now Patricia Rich is ahead in the count 2-0. As that ball is blooped into short right center field, drifting back is the second baseman Young, and she makes the catch for the first out. So Galbo will hold at second base, and with one out and a runner at second base now, it'll bring up Vanessa Joya. Joya's been on base all 3 times here in game number 2. She reached on an error twice and hit a 4th home run of the year. And that pitch is swung and grounded under the glove of the pitcher over to second base. And it's going to get over to Kelly just in time. A nice play by Young, as she was able to come over quickly, get the ball over to first base, and just get Joya by a step for the second out. Antoinette Galbo went down to third base. And now with 2 out and a runner at third, it'll be Christy Coangelo to bat here for the Dolphins. Christy singled, scored, reached on a fielder's choice, and fly to left, and fouls that one off. It's 0-1. Thomas now looking in for the sign. And the pitch is swung and grounded off the glove of the shortstop DiCarlo and into left field. That will allow Galbo to come home and score the winning run. It's going to be a single and an RBI for Christy Coangelo. Antoinette Galbo will score the game-winning run, and the College of Staten Island, behind the one-hit shutout pitching of Allison Marr, defeat the FDU Devils to salvage the doubleheader by a final score of 8-0. So the FDU Devils came in and did a good job in game number 1, as they were able to defeat CSI by a final score of 3-1. That ended the Dolphins' 7-game winning streak and dropped Jackie Cortella's record down to 14-3. But the College of Staten Island came right back in game number 2 behind the one-hit shutout pitching of Allison Marr, as she picks up her 7th win of the season on her 5th shutout of the season. And the College of Staten Island wins their 31st game of the season. That ties the record for the most wins in a season by the CSI Dolphins before they even hit the CUNYAC Championship, as they will wrap up the regular season with a record of 31-7 on the year, as they defeat FDU by a final score of 8-0. So that's going to wrap things up here from the CSI softball complex. Don't forget to tune into CSIDolphins.com for all your latest information regarding everything CSI sports. Don't forget to join us here for complete wall-to-wall coverage of the CUNYAC Championships, beginning with the semifinal round this Friday here at the CSI softball complex, and we'll bring you coverage from first pitch to the end as the College of Staten Island looks to win their 5th consecutive CUNYAC Championship, and they look to break their all-time record of wins in the season, as they will go for their 32nd win of the season when they get back in action this Friday afternoon. So that's going to wrap things up here from the CSI softball complex. This is Mike Babusky saying so